Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gaming to the Max and part 5 of our Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich, the German Empire. So, in the last episode, we have been fighting over here in the Balkans. We have capitulated Serbia. We're making our way through Greece right now. We've got troops over here in the Kingdom of Spain trying our best to hold out. But it's been very, very rough for the Kingdom of Spain this time around. And then we do also have units over here in America fighting for the AUS and trying to at least help these guys out a little bit. So we'll actually move these guys here and try to take Nashville. Another big thing that happened in the last episode was Hugenburg and the Conservative Revolution. Hugenburg had kind of went out on his own and said, hey, this is the policies that we believe, and it was his own beliefs. So now we're in a party split. Right now I'm trying to gain enough political power to keep the party from splitting and also having Hugenburg not win. So we shall see what comes about. We are not doing a national focus right now, trying to get this to win. Panama accepts the fallow-white ruling. Unwilling to escalate the matter any further and afraid of our military might, the Panama government has agreed to end the dispute and adhere to the fallow-white ruling. Diplomats from both nations have gathered in David to finish the official documents, and after the formalities are over, the situation will finally be resolved for good. Costa Rica will retain the Coto region, and Panama will give up all claims to the territory. Another job well done, plus 20 political power. If we whipped the Reichstag deputies, Queen Wilhelmina abdicates the Dutch throne, so another European monarch falls. And they are social democrats, so we'll have to watch out for them. We can do that, but it causes the rift to widen. We might have to, though, because if we don't, then he will get the majority of the do that as well. He'll get the majority of the faction. So the rift between the two factions at 60, and this will cause a party split. So the DVLP will probably split, but I'm not sure into what. We'll save up some more political power for a little bit. Let's do our reinforced Alsatian fortifications because I want to get down to help out Spain. We'll gain 1 per day. Right here, and then we'll encircle the rest of the Greek units, and I'll send the 1st Infantry Division motorized down to try to take Athens. Oh, whoa. I think we'll be able to help the Kingdom of Spain, to be honest with you. Does not look that way, at least. The rising sun, the situation in Japan has been critical since Tsingtao Accord, muddled by numerous economic crises and unrest. Their ineffective response to German intervention in China led to the collapse of the autocratic Tanaka regime. However, the Empire of the Rising Sun managed to bounce back as original power limited to the reaches of East Asia. Troubling. World tension increased by 6. So they just did their focus, Rising Sun. I can't remember where that's at. Maybe it's this. Yeah, I think it's this. Start training some infantry divisions. We don't have a lot of weapons right now. Canada invokes the War Measures Act. The Philippines request support. Representatives of the recently independent Philippines have approached their government with a request. They are looking for German help with expanding their mining and forest industries, aiming on becoming a major provider of natural resources in Southeast Asia. Should we finance the project, not only would we prevent them from destabilizing, but we would gain a friend. We will help them. -20 political power. Helped our economy. Grants Philippine, which gives us consumer factory goods factor +5. Or they just don't like us. They already hate us. So, I mean, I guess we can improve them liking us. Oh, they don't even have a... I'm just going to say no because I want to keep my political power right now. I need 20. If we mend the rift, it only gives us, I think, 5. So it'll still come up with a party split. The formation of the Moscow Accords. World tension increased by 6. The Black Dossier, a group of anonymous officers, administrators in Middle Africa, have compiled documents and evidence of illegal activity by Governor Carl Ritter and presented it to the cabinet. The evidence is proven true is very serious. According to what the dossier alleges, the governor has been diverting funds from the state budget to buy off key figures in German high society in order to secure support for his administration, as well demanding state officials pay into a slush fund. Even more darkly, it alleges with less evidence that Carl Ritter and his loyalists gathered information of blackmail against his own employees, has been involved in kidnapping and intimidation of journalists, and even hiring assassins. Formally investigations must be conducted or implicate some powerful men in Berlin. Quietly buried it. Now let's do the corruption. Okay, into it. And we got 15 days. Let's cancel this. I know we lose 14 days of project. We got 9 political power. Hopefully we can do enough to maybe interpartisan amends. I think it'll still cause the party split though, but we'll try. I really don't want a party split. I'm not sure what it occurs with it, but we'll see. I'll see what I can do. Let's reduce the party rift. Oh, it gives us the rift between two factions at 45, and that gives Hugenburg as marginalized, so that's what we wanted. No. Stay here. Nicaragua declared war on Honduras. Puerto Rico has been freed. Romania is moving a lot of troops. Let's see.
Zeigt es ihnen! Ausrücken!
A minor strike in the Ruhr. The hotbed of treasonous trade union activity is up in arms once again. Local industries have been temporarily paralyzed by a major strike instigated by syndicalist factory groups and free trade unions. Social democratic and liberal press immediately lavished reports on the strike. as well as its demand better work conditions and increase in wages and social reforms, call for resignation of the government and or new elections, also float around the streets among the fooled, bewitched masses. Industry leaders advise us to simply wait out the strikes. So we got three options will happen: 33% chance in Eastern Rhineland, Western Rhineland, and Westphalia for our civilian factories to receive 0.5 levels of damage, and change in popularity of social democracy and radical socialism plus 1%.
Ausrücken!
It does not look like I'm going to be able to save the Kingdom of Spain. But now the CNT is beating the crap out of Carlist Spain. So I think the Carlists have just kind of opened up the fall for Spain to fall to communism. Though I hope not. Let's see.
Befehle!
Come over here. Oh, Nashville fell to the Syndicalists. Should move our focus to fight
Angetreten!
the Middle Europa Commission choice of agenda. Let's do the military factory. Let's see. This should be Hugenburg is marginalized in 2 days. So let's do factory outputs. Nice. Peru declared war on Ecuador. And Mexico has now joined the Third International.
Angetreten!
Defeat of the reactionary faction. The results of the party conference of the DVLP are conclusive. The wider membership of the DVLP has endorsed the direction of Erich von Hassel and does not approve of Alfred Hugenberg's ultra-reactionary militancy. Hugenberg was soundly outvoted with even greater margins than in 1928, and once it concluded, several of his former allies denounced him, declaring that they disapproved of Hugenberg's actively hostile on particular stances which threaten the unity of nationalism against syndicalism and Jewish threats. Faced with overwhelming defeat, Hugenberg finally decided to throw in the towel. He resigned from all positions in the government, and new articles in Der Tag affirmed the newspaper's support for the Kleist cabinet. The Chancellor, the DKP, and the National Revolutionaries can draw an easier breath. The first challenge to the conservative revolution have been overcome. That's the last we'll see of them. Gain plus 10% base stability. Gain 50% plus 50 political power, and the strengthening the standing of the DVLP, and it retires Alfred Hugenberg. Yes, this is what we were hoping for. I was so scared of that, by the way. I mean, was horrified of what could have happened there. Let's do the Polish monarchist campaign. Hopefully, we can demand the removal of Belgium. I don't really care about that. And let's do consolidation in the countryside and the principle of self-help. Free reign for the diligent. With the introductions of Dr. Schlang's far-reaching agrarian policy reform, a wind of change has begun to shake up Germany's struggling and trailing agricultural sector. A new era has dawned in which modern tractors and combine harvesters finally reach the most remote parts of the empire, in which high-performance fertilizers finally allow our producers to compete with cheap, mass-produced goods from Eastern Europe and overseas, and in which the large-scale expansion of livestock central to agricultural slowly pushes the Prussian anachronism of the grist and grain monocultural into the history books. All this was made possible by the generous policy of the state-affiliated Probenkasse, which in recent months has ceaselessly provided all the necessary funds to our farmers in need. Unlike in the past, the principle of merit has finally been applied here, that in the times in which the complacent Junkers of East Elbia could borrow without limit, without contributing any part to our economic salvation, are over. With the contribution to our nation's greatness in the past remains unquestioned. Their scepter is now being passed to a new generation. The days of the small-scale farmer and his small patch of land have now arrived. It is said that Germany's renewal can only arise out of the simple man's soil. Though hard work, tears, blood, and sweat, we will not stand in the way of those that are generously giving Germany all the rejuvenated lifeblood, free reign of the diligent. Trust Dr. Schlang's plan. Gain base stability plus 8%. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This way. Take you this way. Take you up. And just hold. Panzer division. And then we'll attack Athens with a fiery force. And then we'll move up to fight Romania.
Angetreten. Bereit.
The Portuguese Middle African dispute. Our Middle African governor has come to us with requests for aid. He speaks of the Portugal support of bandits that murder German and African police and endanger our rule in Africa. What shall we do? We shall take up the matters with Portugal ourselves. Against the immense Germans coming knocking. Knock, 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 knock. I think you all have made a mistake. Alright, let's see. Turn to production. We need rifles.
Angetreten.
I shall die up on that hill. Radio detection. Portugal denied our request. The Portuguese government refused to discuss internal affairs with foreign nations. This is not on at all, and we have sent them a strongly worded letter reminding them of their duties. Lose 20 political power gets an offer from Germany. Anti-air for our battleships. End of turn. This should drop it down to 4. This should move our debt to, there we go. Let's do capital control for the inflation crisis. Change the crisis. We can draw 2 cards. Let's do the paper mark inflation. And then money issue. There we go. Beat that round. See our volunteers over here.
Los!
Getting attacked pretty heavily. Let's see. There we go. The Mozambique Bush War. There are some believe that the old-fashioned colonial wars are a relic of the pre-Weltkrieg era. Recent events in Africa have shown that the man's thirst for battle on the Dark Continent is not in any immediate dangers of abating. Growing tensions between German, Middle Africa, and the Portuguese colonies have degenerated in recent months from somewhat farcical, I don't know what that word, farcical disputes involving little more than cattle raiding into open conflict in Mozambique and Angola, with colonial troops and their white officers on both sides waging fruitless guerrilla war that is sure to cost many lives if they think that it's worth it. Can't do you. Can't do you. Do better light tank. research that better. Light tank. Well, Africa better move its units. A new governor. With Carter Ritter gone, we must appoint a new governor. While he is disgraced, there's still hope that whoever remains in the administration can bring order to the colony, or perhaps someone with more experience would be best in these turbulent times. We can keep Fritz Kolb. He's already there. Or we can use Rudolf Asmus, the famous and experienced administrator, will restore order. And that brings the authoritarian Democrats in charge. Let's do that. Not the hardliners, but the authoritarian Democrats. Americans remained dominant in the Legation Council. With the outbreak of the Second American Civil War, the Legation cities heavily reliant on American production influence fell into power vacuum. The Legation Council had to vote on a new High Commissioner to lead the mandate into the future, and it seems they have chosen the incumbent American High Commander Nelson Truslin Johnson, or Trusler Johnson, to stay in his role. This surely signals a renewed commitment to the open door policy within the cities, but what is unknown is how far the cities will go to secure their neutrality. Interesting. Looks like we're going to get forced out right there. American Union States is losing quite a bit of ground, but they did have a lot of ground to hold. The Russian Empire declared war on these few territories over here. Alash Orda, the Turkestan Republic, Bakra, and Kieva. They still don't hate us, though. Doesn't mean that they won't go to war with us. It just means they don't hate us. Let's force these units into Greece, or in Greece, to fight in Athens. We're gonna have to figure out what we're going to do against Romania. Let's expand the power of the Reichsbezirksmat. We can negotiate for some of our debt to be removed. That's not as important. It's not too high. The Dutch Revolution, and yet another victory for the forces left in Europe. The traditionally moderate Netherlands has gone the way of the British and French and fallen to socialism. News has come as a profound shock to many monarchies and reactionary regimes across the world. The Netherlands leaves Middle Europa, and the Bradia Commune declare war on the Princely Federation. So I'm figuring that you guys will also join. Oh, the Dutch East Indies wants to settle their government here. One more monarchy has fallen to the stain of syndicalism, but their queen and her confidence escaped the chaos to establish a resistance from the colonies that remains loyal to her. She requested to enter an alliance with us and establish a government in exile in our capital. Dutch East Indies joins the Reichspakt. Of course. Awesome. The Batavian Commune has joined the Third International. Let's see. So now we've got the exiles have arrived, and they'll choose either Queen Wilhelm. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. How many units do you all bring to the table? 16, which isn't crazy, but you have quite a bit of manpower and a relatively small navy. That's fine. The Princely Federation is hurting pretty bad. I think we can do the Delhi-Berlin Pact, maybe. We might want to do the reinforce the border, trying to save Spain still.
Befehle. Ausrücken. Angetreten.
Yeah, the Carlists are dumb. They are about to take the capital. Siam seizes our factories. The new Siamese government has begun their industrial nationalization program in order to help strengthen their economy. Our factories in the Kingdom of Siam have been wrongfully seized by the military junta of the Premier Plek Fibun Song Karam. He, however, has offered us a monetary compensation for our loss. Gains the compensation money, which grants us consumer goods factory negative 10% for 60 days. That's fine. The Second Prussian Intervention. Syndicalists have taken over the Netherlands, exposing a vulnerable flank to which the Ruhr area, our primary industrial center, can be hit. Military hotheads are proposing that we invade right now while they still lack international recognition. But the Dutch, or Batavians as they call themselves now, are surely dug in, having expected this move already. Others propose that we send agents to undermine the new regime's stability, which could be a more subtle way of securing their loyalty. The third possibility is just leave them alone. Direct intervention may escalate into a full-blown war. Well, they have already joined the Third International, so if we do go to war, we will be at war with the French and the British. So let's send agents. See if we can destabilize them some more. And I really need to build my military up. You guys were telling me in the comments, you need to build your military up. And I was like, I know. But my economy's not recovered. Edit you all. Can't even afford that. We'll just be in a lot of debt for our military factories to produce more. We're only at 28. See our Spanish volunteers. Denmark offers an economic deal with our small neighbor Denmark, having been hit hard by the very black money plagues that swept our nation as well. In an attempt to soften the blows, the Danish government seeks to make an import of Danish goods more attractive. To that end, they want to lower the exchange rate of the Danish krone to our mark, two currencies that are pegged to each other within the Middle Europa system. In return for our cooperation, the Danish states offers to buy additional German goods as compensation, and we just get trade, or we just get relations. Yeah, we'll do that. Even though they are socialist as well. Let's see. Athens is about to fall to our troops, and then we'll move up to try to fight Romania. Dutch operative was captured. This might be the comeback that we were hoping for. Well, they're only at 62% towards capitulation, so they're not actually doing that bad. I mean, they're doing horrible. Carlists have really kind of screwed themselves there. Hungary's losing ground to the Austrians. Poland is just kind of holding out. Nothing's really happening over here in Asia. The Princely Federations have defeated these large pockets against them by the Baradia Commune. And Portugal has lost swaths of lands to Middle Africa. Good. Good. Greece has capitulated.
Achtung!
So we'll move these troops. Excuse me. I'm going to right here. Excuse me. Yeah, move off. I know they've still got units there, but let's see. We'll take you guys. Move the fight in Romania. The Sodentag. Excuse me again. We've read that before. This talks about our victory in the Franco-German War. And then our planes here can go to air superiority in Bulgaria and knock out those planes fighting there. Workers clash with far-right activists. A protest organized by trade union and socialist youth against our government today unceremoniously, as instead a brawl broke out between them and a counter-protest organized by far-right parties, especially two small yet visible movements gathered their combatants and agitators to confront the left-wing opponents, the extremist and racial supremacy group, the German Folkish Party, and the extra-parliamentary Sevenkopf and National Socialist German Society, led by Arthur Dinner and Julius Streicher. Respectively, they held little influence on the electoral stage, but they're disproportionately represented among veterans and far-right students who took to the streets to clash with trade unions. We lose 2% stability, gain popularity of national populism and radical socialism plus 1%. Alright. You all hold. Technically, all of the car lists here in this pocket are cornered. So, I mean, that's good news for us. And let's see. We're doing this one right now. Don't need to worry about that. We can hold the summit for peace. We can kick Belgium from the Legation Council. I don't know. Save our political power. We need to... Oh, King Michael has taken power, so the Romania has overthrown their leadership, and you guys are getting war reparations from Serbia. So let's see. Yep, you guys won the 4th Balkan War. Cool. Yeah, Romania hates us, of course, but it's alright. Let's see. Once these units come back, we'll send them over to Austria to fight against Hungary. Volunteers down here in the States. Not been doing too good. The Pacific states are supported by Japan. The communists support, of course, the commune. And us and Paraguay are the only ones supporting the American Union states. I actually plan on moving you all down to Florida. Try to retake Florida from the old United States. And let's see, Paraguay. You guys are nationalist populists. Alright. But Bolivia is more aligned with us. In Brazil, you're social liberals. Okay. Keep going. Dominion of India has now declared war on the Bharatiya commune. So resource efficiency gain. Oh, the Insulian National Revolution has happened. So the Dutch are no longer over here. I didn't even see that pop up. Ecuador has capitulated.
Achtung! Bereit?
Our troops have returned from Bulgaria. Send volunteers to Austria. I'd like to get this. Close watch of the Crown Prince. Let's do this for the stability. Make sure that yeah, we keep the dominance equal. Russia has taken Alash Orda. Oh, I did say I wanted to go over here and do this. Alright, after this one. Knocking down a -3. Let's see, construction. Still building civilian centers. Fall of Burgos. So the colonists are really hurting now. Sorry about the coughs. Good job. Good job, Bulgaria. We supported them, so they really like us.
Achtung!
I don't think we can. We can look at trying to cut some troops there.
Achtung!
That's more of a pipe dream than it is anything. I can't believe Austria has not won this war yet. How many volunteers do you have? Oh, just for me. You all will hopefully join the Reichspakt here at some point. Right there. I don't know if they will do it just yet or not.
Angetreten! Angetreten!
Actually want you guys to be like right here.
Achtung!
Oh, wait.
Greift weiter an!
Might be able to move and take Barcelona. And see, I had given up on the Kingdom of Spain. Shame on me. Still a minor defeat over here in Poland. You guys are doing safeguard, liberties, the German investment plan. I hope you win. Alright, what about you, Ukraine? Expend no land credit. Did the U.S. HD. Mextus overthrows the Greek government. Argentina declared war on the Patagonian Workers' Front, so Ionius Mextus has taken power as a paternal autocrat. The Chilean-Argentine War. I'm probably doing this. There's a lot going on that we're...
Bereit. Angetreten.
I sadly don't have a whole lot of trucks right now, so the Siamese compensation money's gone. We need 16,000 rifles. Bunch of trucks. Man, we just need a bunch of factories. I feel like we're in a worse spot than we were last time. Deploy some troops here.
Angetreten.
And we'll put you for right now under Albert Kisselring. Albert Kiss the Ring. No, I'm kidding.
Achtung. Angetreten. Bereit.
Computing. Basic fire control. So we're done with this. We need to rush that Spanish one. The Italian Civil War resumes. Oh man. The two Sicilies hate me though. I don't have any more troops to send.
Achtung.
I've got my one cavalry division, and then I guess we can send Albert down here with some air volunteers. We need to knock Hungary out of this war so Austria can do their thing.
Bereit. Ausrücken. Ausrücken. Unter Beschuss. Unter Beschuss.
The Zentrum Reichstag faction speaks. Our government policy has come under fire in the Reichstag. Several members of the left wing and the Zentrum delegation have begun using it as a tribute, criticizing the direction of the government, pointing out several of the policies proposed by our cabinet as well as the biographs of the cabinet members. They claim that they perceived a naked return to Bismarckian authoritarianism and cannot endorse this move, much like their predecessors who had fought against the tyrannical policies of Kulturkampf. Though their claims are absurd, their speeches have been highly publicized. Gain base stability negative 2%, base war support negative 2%, and change in popularity of social conservatism plus 1%. About done with that. Save political power. Well, the Austrians seem to have made a move down here.
Achtung. Achtung. Ausrücken. Vorwärts, Männer.
Our cavalry's just fighting there. Yeah, the American Union States have lost a lot of ground. Alright, let's see. We still hold enough seats. capital control. Let's do this one. Let us change the crisis. So now it's a labor crisis. So this one works better. And then capital control. And we've beat it. Sweet. We can take Barcelona. I don't know if it will really make a difference or not. Because technically, if I come in here and look... Oh no, they've capitulated. Or they're at almost 100%. Let's take Girona there. Yes. Awesome. Or actually, you know what? No. Like that. Push you all. Try to get that unit over there. Just hold and defend. Hold and defend. And I need to send some air over there. So let's see. Where's our Air Force? They're right here. We'll send you all here. Not you all. There we go. Alright. Got some planes moving. Like a mad dash for a land grab. What can I get? I want to take Bilbao. Our poor units are hurting for some supplies. Let's see. This is wild. Ukrainian export soars. The war in America has drastically reduced the amount of exported wheat in the world markets, and our loyal ally Ukraine has been among those greatly profiting from the tragedy taking place in the United States. In addition, the world around us has been recovering from horrible economic recession. Despite the looming threat of war and the still sore wounds from the revolt, Ukrainian exports have recovered very well. The willingness on the part of this Skorpodesky administration to export grain to Germany certainly has its benefits to some extent. Ukrainian dominance over the grain market has its opponents among more protectionist-minded individuals, however. We can gain 3% stability or gain political power. Let's just take that stability. And let's see. The Hetman's evil spirit. Kind of wish the center would have held, but that's fine. army. They haven't done too much, but I haven't either, so can't be mad at them. Let's get up to early mobilization. Let's see, that's army experience gain. Division experience gain, organization, or attack. We'll hold off on that. Turkestan has fallen.
Vorwärts, Männer! Achtung! Vorwärts, Männer! Ausrücken!
Where's that other cavalry at?
Achtung!
Oh, it's right there. The Austrian volunteers, they're winning that fight. They're winning down there.
Achtung!
Let's see. We got 2 more days for this. That's Alice Lorraine. It's a bunch of land forts. The fall of Rome. How will the Two Sicilies recover from that? Let's do this. First Leopold Division for the Spanish.
Unter Beschuss! Vorwärts, Männer!
Oh, it's not. I'm gonna lose.
Suchen Deckung!
Wonder if I recall my volunteers, do I lose them? Oh, so it says 4. So let's see. I'll send them back. The future of the Polish government. Our ambassadors at Warsaw has contacted Berlin in need of instruction. The German ambassador has long since been an important advisor to the King of August IV, and almost any government has required at least tolerance from Germany. As elections are getting closer and a victory for the pro-German MKP seems likely, the ambassadors asking what kind of government would be most acceptable for Berlin. In practice, this will mean either the national liberal side of the MKP or the maybe more blatantly pro-German and authoritarian statehood party inside the MKP. Our military and much of the major businesses are sympathetic toward the statehood party and Vladislav Stonenik for obvious reasons, but more savvy political analysts in the government pointed out that the continuation of the Antoni Ponilski liberal rule would be more stable and more acceptable choice for the Polish opposition, while in practice maintaining all of our current interests in the country despite their Polish nationalism. Who is it? The market liberals are the one in charge? Or we can have the authoritarian Democrats. Did it say that he was going to lose? I can not intervene. Our military and much of our... But let's just see that Poniewski wins. The guy that they say should win. I guess Kiev has capitulated, so the deck of Erich Ludendorff. Newspapers in the Munich report that Erich Ludendorff, the mastermind behind the 3rd OHL and the second in command of Paul von Hindenburg during the final years of the Weltkrieg, passed away from liver cancer yesterday. While Hindenburg, who died 3 years ago, is almost universally revered as a master tactician and savior of Germany in the darkest hour to this day, Ludendorff's legacy is far more controversial. His military ability is unquestioned, yet he is seen as a puppet master of the authoritarian military regime that took control of Germany by the end of the Weltkrieg. In 1920, trying to stop the parliamentarization process, he attempted to threaten Wilhelm II one last time, yet as his services were no longer necessary, and his superior in Hindenburg made a deal with the parliamentary reformists to keep the power of the army untouched, Ludendorff was forced to resign in disgrace. Since then, he remained a looming shadow over the German far right, yet even those who revered him began having second thoughts once he got involved with the neo-pagan Volkisch fringe under the influence of his wife, Mathilda. His eccentric conspiracy theories and dabbling into esotericism ultimately led him to being ignored by the far-right politicians who wished to present themselves respectable. Regardless, he will be given a state funeral, which will be attended by surviving members of his entourage as well as the royal family. Let us remember the war hero, not the nut job. Gain plus 1% stability. Let's see. We do need to do like adopting the modernity, the yearning for Cannae, the Austro-German military cooperation.
Bereit.
We got some more divisions available. Nope. There we go. George von Kuchler. Do another one of those. And Bukhara has been destroyed. Let's do our machine gewehr. You got 7 more days. The Second Irish Revolution, unprecedented scenes have been reported from Ireland, where the newly inaugurated president has been ousted from office. The previously democratic republic fell into disarray following former Michael Collins' loss in elections, with a British-supported socialist coup being held in the capital. Ireland leaves Middle Europa. Wow. Oh, they did get to defeat the,
Achtung.
That's alright.
Angetreten.
We just won't send any more troops down there. Sorry, the 2 Sicilies.
Angetreten.
Ma Quick declared war on Tibet. There's another minor strike. The war between Hugh and Buddhists. The Kingdom of Spain accepts. Awesome. Back into here. We can hurt the Russians. Let's start doing this. Establish the W system. That'll really help us right now. Choice of agenda. I didn't even vote, I don't think. But that one's the top one. So that's civilian factory. Let's do the arms experts. That's what I want. Alright, well, with that, let's take you all. Let's end this war here.
Achtung. Angetreten. Ausrücken. Bereit. Achtung. Befehle.
The fall of Delhi. The Ikwan revolt against the Sultanate of Najad. Let's see. You guys are all paternist autocrats. Oh, you don't have... Okay, you don't have your own focus tree. until they fall into the Entente, the Princely Federation. Yeah, they hate us. Research synthetic refineries. Or no, wait. I think one of these gives us synthetic refineries. Maybe not. As research synthetic oil experiments. Okay. So I was wrong. The Belgian question. Now that our country is recovering, we can look into the Belgian questions. We aren't able to assist Albert with a full-scale rebellion took place in this country, but now we finally have the opportunity to bring Belgium back into the fold. Demand that they subjugate. They might accept. Carlos Spain has been annexed and Iquan has capitulated. Wow, that was quick. Alright, let's go back to our theater.
Angetreten.
Pray to God that these guys don't have, I was hoping Albert would accept. I'm just hoping that they don't choose somebody to, you know. Spanish Civil War has ended. Do all medium tanks better. This will pull back those volunteers from Austria, but that's fine. The monarchy was restored in Greece, I think that's what this says. Let's do recovery rate. Oh, and reinforcement rate. Yeah, monarchy restored in Greece. Cool. So that might mean that Greece might join us if I can align them. They do hate Bulgaria. Let's see, what have you guys done in your focus tree? A little bit there. You done renewed pride. Didn't do anything. We'll see. And then you got Nakal of Romania. This will be a relatively quick war. I'm hoping for a relatively quick war. I forgot about my navy. I like you, but I don't like that. Might just have to suck it up. Oh, you're positioning and capital? We'll do you. You're our Middle African forces. We'll put anyway. Take you all, strike force.
Angetreten.
Mongolia declared war on the mock click. It's kind of costly. We're still in the middle of the trying to get ourselves better situated, but August the 4th supporters are in a slim majority. Let's get away from civilian economy. Early mobilization.
Achtung.
You all can join them. You all, although you've been fighting for a very long time, try to force Elbert into submission. You know, Africa has absolutely destroyed Portugal. Good. Kingdom of Spain still likes us. Everybody's returned home at this point. Sorry, Belgium. I can't say I'm really sorry, but the Duke of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha receives British dissidents. Last week, peculiar events took place at the Friedenstein Palace in Gotha. The winter residence of Duke Karl Edward of Saxon-Coburg and Gotha at a grand gala of the Anglo-German friendship. The Duke welcomed many representatives from the former British Empire, as well as important functionaries of various British emigre circles, including the infamous Committee of the Restoration of Great Britain, or the CRGB. It is no wonder that Karl Edward, a grandson of Queen Victoria, whose English titles were revoked in 1917 under the Title Deprivation Act, seeks closer ties with controversial dissident organizations. Germany has long gained a reputation in the English emigre circles as the last bulwark against socialism, and formerly shunned Duke is now praised by his ex-enemies as a brilliant example of Anglo-German ties. This circumstance is underpinned all the more by Karl Edward's personal ideology, the demonstratively reactionary and authoritarian. He is anything but a friend of the post-March Constitution era parliamentary order. Anything that has found favor with the CRGB, an elitist group consisting primarily of exiled English businessmen and nobles. Apart from the British guests, numerous local German dignitaries also appeared at the gala, such as business tycoon and representatives of the Duchy's nationalist conservative state government. Thuringia has been a hotbed of right-wing thought for several years, and Gotha particularly has been the seat of the government with DVLP participation since the early 1930s. The Fatherland Party maintains close ties to the far-right British dissident scene, and Weimar-based DVLP-aligned publisher Walter Bachmeister translated and circulated many dissident literary works. As long as such meetings take place behind closed doors and are not associated with our government, they principally do not pose a problem. Nevertheless, in times of rising global tensions, Costin has advised a bit more apolitical professionalism would suit the Coburg Duke quite well. A welcomed event, gained plus 10 political power. A delegation of British far-right dissidents are welcomed by the Duke in Germany. Our good friends in Merry England may help us in the future and hopefully won't cause any drama. Alright, with that, I'm going to end episode 5. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.